Hey, what's up, guys? This is Kami Ken, and yeah, it's been. Sorry, I'm late. I'm just trying to get some things set up because the iPad's not connecting, and there's just a couple of things I have to get ready in the background. But other than that, we should be good to go. And if none of that works, then we'll just talk. But yeah, yeah, I am just finished with chapter 3 of Saintly, and I really want to rest. Like, I really want to take a break and just like chill out for a minute. But man, like duty calls, man. It just never ends. So yeah. Let me see. Ikea. All right. Let me get this iPad set up, and then we should be good to go. But let me see if the music is working. Turn up my volume. Oh yeah, and check out the shirt that my little brother bought me. It's a Spider-Man. It's actually a brand new day shirt. And yeah, he bought it like a couple of days before the actual movie. Like before we actually went to watch the movie, and so we were matching, like, and that was what he intended. And I was just like, I don't want to do that because it's not cool. But I did it for him. I just went with the shirt, and he wore it, and it wasn't a big deal. Like, it didn't really matter. But yeah, we went to see Brand New Day. Hopefully the sound is working. Let me make 100% sure. And I hope I'm not lagging too much. Let me check my internet. Okay, internet's good. And let me see if this iPad will connect. All right, give me just 1 second. But yeah, we saw the movie. I'm probably gonna do like some kind of movie review, but I'm not a movie reviewer or a movie critic. I just have some stuff to say about the Spider-Man movie because should I even say it now? Like, because we're just at the beginning of the stream. Let me just first, before we get into what I'm gonna say, I'll just say hi to you guys first and say what's up. What is up to Massive Panda? How you doing, man? Appreciate you coming out to the show. Appreciate it. Thanks for the no the illustration compliment. And let me say what's up to Nick Stream. How you going? How you doing, man? Appreciate you coming out to the show. And Stricker Arts. Okay, cool. I think I saw one of your comments recently, and appreciate you coming out to the show as well. So yeah, we'll have ourselves a good time here. So I got my iPad connected. So I'm gonna go ahead and fire that up or share my screen. Let me see. Share my screen. And let me make sure my connections are in the right place. There we go. And we should be good to go. So I'm going to go ahead, present screen. Nick Stream says, time for the second channel, Movie Ken. Nah, man, like maybe I would make a second channel at some point in the future, but nah, I could never be a movie reviewer. I'm not anywhere close to like a cinephile or somebody who really, really loves like going to watch movies. I'll only go to the movies for like Spider-Man, and I used to go to the movies heavily for like Ryan Reynolds. Like there was just this time when he was just in theaters every like month with something new, and or it felt like that. And I saw what's it called? Deadpool, And Free Guy. I saw my, what is it? My wife's bodyguard or something like that. It was like the second movie or the third movie in that series. And then I saw Detective Pikachu, and I think that was all the Ryan Reynolds movies I saw. And I don't even know why I saw them or even why I like them so much, but it was mainly because of Ryan Reynolds and his like personality, because he just plays the same guy in every movie. So it's just like, well, I just like his regular like default personality, so I'll go to the movies for that. I don't know what he's doing now. I guess he's just working for Mint Mobile, and that's it. All right, so I'm gonna share my screen. And we'll jump into the illustration. We're almost done with this thing, so my screen should be sharing in a little bit. Let me make sure my camera is good. Yeah. There we go. The browser can't access your screen. Try capturing a different screen to see if this continues. Oh, that's weird. Okay, let me see. Because the iPad's connected, but the okay, share screen. Let's see if this will work. Okay, share. Should kick in like a second here. Come on. You can do it. Here we go. And I'm frozen on the screen. So let me... Okay, there it is. So it just popped up now. My computer is going slower than usual. It's really time for a new computer, but it sucks being poor, man. Like, just never having really the money to do anything. So I'm just gonna have to put up with this as I got it, and clean it up as much as possible so that it's not as laggy, because it does have some, what do you call it, a lot of desktop files that are just taking up space on the front. And they say, like, if you have a lot of desktop files, then it'll slow down the computer overall. And it's mostly just like screenshots and images from all the like marketing research that I do, but I was able to clean up most of it, so it shouldn't be like too bad now. But yeah, so now we got the illustration going, and this is where we're at so far. It's actually not a bad spot. We're almost done with this thing. I wonder if is it even capturing what I'm showing? Let me see. It's weird because it doesn't appear to be capturing my screen for some reason. Ken's iPad. Let me go back here. Okay, you guys can see it. Studio Stricker says, I've always wondered how that setup works with the iPad. Yeah. Yeah. It took me a while to figure out something, but I read a couple of tutorials, and basically I just take the iPad charger and plug it into the dongle that connects to the laptop on my MacBook. And then I use, what's it called? Quick Player. And Quick Player will do the rest of the connection. Like it'll connect the piece. Okay, so now it's responding and it'll show the drawing as I'm doing it. Cool. And let me welcome Naru. What's up? Appreciate you coming out to the show. I always just shorten your name to Naru because there's a lot to it. So I'm gonna go back to the screen and I'll turn on your comments over here so I can read them whenever they pop up. And we'll go ahead and get started. So I want to put a monster back here in this area and then turn the rest of this stuff black. But first, I'm still kind of focused on what's going on in the front and in the top of the image, like at the front of the image, because I did turn off these lines, but I don't know if I should keep them hidden. I want to keep these creases here, but I'd have to accentuate them in the what do you call it? The black, no, in the shadow, in the painting version. So let me see. Let's say, what's up, Naruto? Naru says, he says, yep, Naru is fine with me. Okay, cool, awesome. And what's up to Paul? What's up, Paul P? How you doing, man? D Nizilla 838. I think I've seen you before. He says, why are they in the back rooms? Why are they not in the back rooms? Why are you not in the back rooms? You know, they're in the back rooms. I always like the back rooms as a setting, and this is actually a continuation from a different piece where they were also in the back rooms. Let me see if I can pull that up. Hopefully it doesn't show any. Okay, yeah, these are older pages, and we'll go to, this is the one. Is there okay, yeah, here's the like finished illustration. So this is like a continuation from this piece that I did a few weeks ago. Well, not even a few weeks ago. It must have been a couple months by now. So it's a continuation from this piece right here. And in this piece, they were in the back rooms as well. Or they were like in the back rooms, but they were looking into the pool rooms. So say, like, basically Chelsea convinced Vivi to, like, you know, go in there and you know, just wear their bathing suits and just swim in the water because it looked safe enough. And basically, hold on, it's not showing the image for some reason. Are you guys not seeing? Like, you can see that, but you can't see the new image that's pulled up, which is weird. Trying to make it so that it's possible that you guys can see it, because this is like a new issue that doesn't usually happen. Let me see. Is it connected? Yeah, that's weird. trust. Okay. So let me see if this will connect. My bad, y'all. Let me this is basically just some technical difficulties right now. Let me make sure will connect again. Hold on just 1 second. Let me say what's up to Ictus. How you doing, man? Appreciate you coming out to the show, dude. We are just getting started here with the drawing, but the iPad is acting up for some reason, so I'm just trying to get that set up, make sure it's all good. All right, let me see what we got here. Yeah, everything's really slow on my computer now for some reason. Let me make this smaller. I may even have to restart the computer just to get it going. Let me see. All right, let's try this. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and try for the restart. I was having similar problems last time, but that's just the way it goes sometimes. All right, so I'm going to restart the computer. I'm going to keep the stream going, but I'm going to have to restart the computer to make sure it's going correctly. Let's see. Ictus says, is the wallpaper for your laptop your art? No, it's definitely not mine. It is actually by a creator named Fox Orion, and he does, or he did, a lot of like late 2000s type of art. It had a really nice vibe to it, and I've always loved this particular piece called Monsoon Season, and that is the background that I have for my laptop, my computer, probably even my phone, like my old phones. Yeah, I would have that for my lock screen, and it's just the one that it takes me back to those times whenever I look at it, and I just keep it as the background for pretty much everything that I have. So yeah, that's what it's called. You can find it. It used to be findable on DeviantArt, but you can find it on his website. His name is Matt Laskowski, and he's like a background artist for different TV shows, like maybe Outer Worlds, King of the Hill. He did recently, and there's one called Inside Job, I think. But yeah, he's a really great artist. All right, so my computer's restarted, and let me see. Net Apart says, whoa, nice wallpaper. Hey, appreciate it, man. And I don't think I've seen you before, so welcome. Ichtha says, finish packing from vacation, driving back tomorrow morning. Nice. I think I got the, what's it called? I might as well start talking about some of my thoughts on the Spider-Man movie, because I'm gonna do a video on it probably later tonight. But the Spider-Man movie, I ended with the same sort of emptiness that I ended the other Spider-Man movies with, where I go in expecting this epic story of the tragedy of a hero who's doing his best and goes through stuff no matter what he deals with, and end up with just sort of empty calories. Like that's what it feels like. Like I just ate some potato chips and I come away from the experience feeling strangely empty, like as if I didn't really watch anything at all, because it didn't move me or give me any type of transformative experience. And I'm not saying I'm looking towards Spider-Man to give me that type of experience in like storytelling, but when I think of the Spider-Man that I grew up with like Tobey Maguire, I think about like how much of a relatable, like universal experience those movies gave me. And when I watched the Tom Holland movies, like nearly every single one, like the first one was all right, the second one was complete garbage. I thought it was trash. And that was mainly because it just felt like a Disney sitcom and it didn't take anything seriously. The third one was all Peter's fault. Like he caused every single thing that happened in that movie because of all his stupid ideas and stupid decisions. And he got his aunt killed. So like it's like bringing convicted criminals and thugs into your house where you live, where your mom is or where your family is, and not expecting them to lose it. And then they did, and he's like surprised, like, oh man, they killed my Aunt May. It wasn't a tragedy of fate, it was just a comedy of errors. It was like a stupid decision that he made, and that's what caused that whole movie. The only thing I liked about it was that they brought back the other two Spider-Man, and that was what was fun about that. No Way Home. But then Brand New Day, I was expecting a Spider-Man movie, like a movie about Spider-Man and him coming back to the world where nobody knows him and he's just trying to build himself back up from zero. But it can never just be a Spider-Man movie. It has to be like somebody else always has to show up from some different property. Like, why is Punisher there? Nobody knows, like, because people like Punisher. Like, that's why he's there. Who else? Like, if it was just him fighting Scorpion or Boomerang or whoever the hell this guy is, like, I don't even know who this is in the show. Like, Boomerang probably showed up for like 2 seconds, and I don't even know what happened to him after that. Like, he showed up for maybe 2 seconds, but it was just a flash. I probably blinked and missed it while I was getting snacks or something. But if it was just a movie about him facing down the Scorpion and it's something he has to deal with alone because he doesn't have Stark, he doesn't have the Avengers, he doesn't have anybody else around him, that would be just fine. Like, I'd be like, oh, finally, like a Spider-Man movie where he has to deal with a villain that only Spider-Man has. But we got to throw in Hulk. We got to throw in Frank Castle, the Punisher. We got to throw in... Oh, you know what? Let me not spoil, like, because if y'all haven't seen it, like, I'm gonna spoil it during the actual review. But Yeah, they have another character, like they have an X-Men. Let's just say they have an X-Men in there, and they're setting up all these different threads and movies and other things to the point where we can't just have a story about Spider-Man having to overcome his challenges as Spider-Man. We have to set it up as a vehicle for this new character. We have to set it up as to show off this other character and bring in all these other elements that take away from who Spider-Man really is at his core. Like, we don't ever really feel the core of like, oh, this is who Spider-Man is. Like, this is what he truly is. It's just one thing happens, and then the next thing happens, and then the next thing happens, and it's kind of interesting. And then this thing is kind of interesting too, and that thing is kind of interesting too. But it never really amounts to something that gets at the core of what Spider-Man is, and that's why I always leave feeling empty. Like, well, that was a movie, that was they put together a really experiencing. They put together an experience, but it wasn't really anything that I would remember or even like consider revisiting. And the X-Men that they put in there, she should be in jail. Go to jail. Like, they put her on a bus and she just smiles and just goes off into the distance. Like, nah, she should be in jail right now. Like arrested immediately. And they did capture her at some point, but and I know saying she like narrows it down, but people who have seen the movie, they know who I'm talking about. And I'm just like, why are you trying to make me empathize with this murderer? Like, she's literally murdered so many people and taken over people's bodies without their permission. Like, yo, it's okay when she does it? Is that what we're doing here? Like there's no morals or anything. So we never really see crime and punishment play out in the way that it's meant to. And we never get to see like a logical core to events that really makes sense to the viewer. Like, they just do things that need to happen in order to set up other movies rather than things that should happen because of the story. Like, it's not trying to tell the story, it's just trying to set up other properties and set up Doomsday or something. Whereas the original Spider-Man movie had the task of introducing Spider-Man to the world, like on the world stage through Tobey Maguire, and showing people his world, showing people his villains, like his main villain. Like, they did such a fantastic job at setting it up all together that I was just like, yo, this is like, when I watched it first as a kid, I was just completely enthralled. I didn't know what I was watching was good. You know what I mean? Like, when you're a kid, you don't have really a judgment of what is good or bad. You just sort of take things in, and the things that you really like, you'll just keep watching and enjoy it. But the things that you don't really like, you'll just sort of ignore. And Spider-Man, the first movie, was one of those things that I watched all the way through and thoroughly enjoyed. Because of just how strong of a story, how strong of a narrative it was. But I didn't have any words to really... I didn't have anything else to compare it to until we get like the Amazing Spider-Man coming out, or the Tom Holland Spider-Man coming out. Now I have other things to compare it to, but even back then, it was just a solid story on its own. Number one, Studio Stricker, number 1 and 2 are the the top two like Spider-Man movies, still probably of all time. But I haven't seen the Andrew Garfield ones. That's the only thing. Like the first two Spider-Man movies are just like actual peak. Like they're the actual peak of Spider-Man. Like especially the train scene where he's stopping the train and he's like, you know, pulling all his strength together just to keep that train from killing everybody. And the way they carry him through the train, like they hold him up as an actual hero. Those kinds of moments you'll never see that in a Tom Holland film. Anytime you see something like it, it just feels hollow. Like they're trying, but they don't really know why those other things worked. I'm trying to share my screen again. Let me, because I finally pulled it up. But yeah, they don't really know why those things felt like they were touching on universal themes in those older movies, like universal themes where it's just like actual heroism, actual danger, actual stakes, actual consequences. But in the Marvel universe, they just make everything feel so little and small. Or they try to downplay what Spider-Man is, or try to downplay what he's going through. Like there was, what's her name, Yelena, the new Black Widow from Thunderbolts. She was in the movie, and there was this like Russian sauna scene, and it was just like, oh yeah, I'm part of the Avengers now, so I'm doing big stuff, and your stuff is little, so we just hurry it up so we can get to the big stuff and I can get back to my important job and whatnot. But it's like, why even say that? Like, what's the point of saying that? Let me see. I'm still having trouble accessing my screen. And as a side thing, like I felt like it was a little bit of like propaganda for these, what do you call it, flock cameras. I don't know anything about them, but I've heard things online about flock cameras. And then in the movie, Spider-Man had a similar system where he had access to facial recognition cameras throughout the city, and that's how he was tracking down certain villains to find them. And I felt like they were trying to say like, oh, Spider-Man's using it, so it must be good. So will you accept our new AI cameras that we're going to install? And it's just like, I can't see these movies as anything other than just a product. It's just a thing that was made to, and it did a lot of money. That's the thing. It did so well in theaters that that people like I think it's just because Spider-Man is in it. You know what I mean? I'll watch anything with Spider-Man in it. I'll watch the next one with Spider-Man in it just on the slim hope that there might be some new awesome, like they might do it right, maybe. But like, people will go to the theaters for Spider-Man almost no matter what. But it's just a hollow experience for me at this point. Let me see. Make sure you have the right mic. Can you guys hear me? I hope it's not muting me here. Okay. Let me see the comments here, because I know y'all probably have seen the movie or something. Dragon Masters, hey, what's up? Appreciate you coming out to the show, dude. Let's see. Dale, hey, what's up, man? said, can't disagree with a single one of your reviews of these Spider-Man movies. Hey, appreciate it, man. Yeah, yeah. It's unfortunate. Like, I don't want to hate them. I mean, it's not even like I hate them. It's just they don't give me the feeling that I thought I would get by watching them. Let me check through the other comments up here, and you guys should be able to see my screen now. Nice. Okay, Venture Lord. Hey, what's up, man? Appreciate you coming out. He said, I don't think they'll ever recapture how real NYC felt in the OG Spidey movies. Not to mention, Toby felt like a real normal guy struggling with his life. New Spider-Man don't feel real like that. Yeah, that makes so much sense. And it's true because in the Raimi movies, like, Sam Raimi gave lines and bit parts to different characters so that they just felt like they were actually witnessing like this guy named Spider-Man just showing up, and it was just this, everyone had like a little personality to themselves. They weren't just some random side character. Let's see. Venture Lord says, I do think they did Miles really well in the Spider-Verse movies though. Yeah, they really did. Even, I would say even better than the comics, because they had the comics as the blueprint, so they could improve upon what was there, and they really did a good job of bringing him to the big screen through the Spider-Verse movies. I can't wait for the last one. The first two were really great. But yeah, these Tom Holland movies, like, they just don't do it for me. Homecoming almost did it for me. They tried to recreate an iconic Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man moment in Homecoming, but it just fell flat. It just wasn't. It wasn't it. It didn't quite hit. So yeah, there was that. And there's a Miles, or there's a Spider-Man that's at the end of the end credits that's in outer space, coming from outer space. So I'm wondering if they're gonna introduce Miles into the mainstream MCU, which would be like really interesting. That would be really interesting to see. But I'm wondering what other type of spider character they're gonna try to introduce in new movies. Studio Stricker says it's definitely a harder movie to follow in a sense. I still enjoyed the movie, but I can understand your perspective. Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, there's a lot to enjoy about it. I really like the Hulk fight. That was like almost vertigo inducing. It was really interesting. Andrew Garfield, Spider-Man are mostly mid. Yeah, I didn't watch those movies, but I didn't hear good things about them, so that was the only issue. Studio Stricker says the philosophical quotes in those movies are amazing too. Oh, I appreciate it. Sideburn says Flock, PH, yeah, mass surveillance, eat them up. Yeah. Vince V4630, what's up? Says yes, I've been spotting so much propaganda since I got curious about politics. The agendas have always been under our nose. Yeah, man, it's crazy, man. Spider-Man's red. Republican man. That's funny. Soy el what's that? Raton con queso. A rat with cheese. It says Spooderman. The Toby scream is my favorite. I laugh every time. Yeah, I think I know which one you're talking about, but I forget what moment that was in prep for. Dale A says, I imagine they want Miles as a legacy character for when Tom Holland ages out. Yeah, that's true. Man, I wish Tom Holland got a movie to himself. I wish he had a Spider-Man movie for himself. You know what I mean? Like, first one was being, you know, I mean, I was super excited when they introduced him into the MCU through Civil War. Like, that got me hyped. I was just like, oh, sick, nice, he's in the MCU now. That's crazy. Then the first movie, I showed up for that. I mean, he was mainly just, what's his name, Tony Stark's like almost sidekick. I mean, he didn't build any of his own tech himself. He was just borrowing from Tony Stark. And so that movie was more about Spider-Man trying to find his own identity outside of having the suit by Stark. And that was all right. I mean, like the movie itself was pretty fun, I think. I just don't. It was the most memorable out of the three. The second one I try to forget because I just did not like it at all. It was about a villain with a really flimsy motivation, kind of lame. Like, okay, so you're mad at Stark, and now you want to take it out on Spider-Man, I guess. I mean, I like the way they displayed Mysterio's powers. I think that was really cool. But it was just they didn't take anything seriously in that movie at all. Like, they just called Peter Parker's like his Spidey sense the Peter tingle. I was just like, like Hank Hill. I was just like, you know, like when he's just fed up with everything that's going on. It just, I wish. Actually, I wonder, you know, who's gonna be the next big Spider-Man? Because, I mean, technically, Tom Holland won't really age out of the role for a long time, because that guy never ages. So he could be Spider-Man for as long as he wants, but they'll like MJ can't be. Well, I mean, she can. They're about the same age, I think. But the MCU as it is probably won't be the same as it will be forever. So okay, so oh yeah, these are starting to get some definition on them. Yeah. Let's see. Hey John, what's up? Appreciate you coming out to the show. I'm just checking out comments now. Yeah, Dale A says, I imagine they want Miles as a legacy character for when Tom Holland ages out. So yeah, that's probably what maybe that teaser at the end is for. And hopefully they don't kill like Tom Holland Spider-Man. That would be insane, because they almost did in this movie. They almost did. But yeah, if they did, damn, I would just be like, damn, he just went through all this bullshit and then died. That'd be crazy. But in Ultimate Spider-Man, that's actually my jumping on point, where I jumped on where in Ultimate Spider-Man where Peter Parker died and Miles Morales replaced him, and I was just like, what the hell? Because the comic itself was called The Death of Spider-Man. I was just like, why would Spider-Man die? Doesn't make any sense. So I started reading. That was my start in comics, where I was just like, well, okay, what's all this comic stuff about? I felt in Brand New Day, that one guy that got possessed felt like he could probably play Miles. He did a solid job. Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. The black guy that was you know, when the X-Men was in the apartment at that time. Vince V says, I'd like to see a Batman Beyond movie. Everyone would like to see a Batman Beyond movie. The fact that they haven't done a Batman Beyond movie is beyond me. Like, I don't even know why. Like, they haven't even tried it or attempted it at all whatsoever. I don't know if it would do. I don't know how it would do financially, and maybe that's their worry, because they just don't know what the numbers would look like, and they don't have a surefire way of finding out or even like testing it. And there's not enough of an established. I mean, they don't need to. They really don't need to. They could just do it and see what happens. Because I know a lot of people have been waiting for a Batman Beyond movie. That would be so cool to see. Um, Sideburn says that boy ain't right. Yep. Let's see. Spooky Lolly, what's up? Appreciate you coming out to the show. It says the unwillingness to let the comic book characters be campy dorks is what's holding these movies back. Yeah, because that's what the early Spider-Man movies had in spades. Like they were taking things seriously when they had to take them seriously, and they had their campy moments when it was appropriate, and it was funny and hilarious, and it was a good time. But these days it's like it's a different kind of humor that's kind of annoying. They don't really take anything seriously, and they sort of downplay the seriousness of actual things, and then people don't really face consequences for doing like actual crimes. So it's like, well, what are we supposed to take from this? Because none of this is relatable. Oh right, we're talking about Spider-Man. Multitasking, sorry. Oh no, you're good. Spooky Lolly. Also, hello, glad to catch you live. I'm working on comics too. Awesome. Yeah, glad that you're here. Studio Stricker says, I mean, they killed in Endgame, sort of. Yeah, that was actually really surprising and cool. I like that. And then but I knew he wasn't gonna stay dead, you know what I mean? And then he came back. Why would Spider-Man be a clone? Marvel reasons. Yep. Bro, Static Shock needs a movie. If we're talking about wasted IPs, should we even get into this? Because Static Shock really does. I mean, it should have been a movie years ago, and I think the only reason it hasn't become a movie is because for years it's been tied up in like what do you call it, like litigation. It's been tied up in like copyright clauses and stuff like that, like where DC owned the rights or didn't own the rights. I don't even know the details behind it. It's just he's just been wrapped up and tied up in all this legal matters, so the character couldn't really be used, and so they didn't make that many comics where he had more and more of an established lore outside of the Milestone universe. And Dwayne McDuffie passed away, so it got even like more tied up after that. And if we just saw a movie, you know what, thank goodness for fan creators, because I've seen some fan works of Static Shock and they're not bad. Like people have made some Static Shock fan movies, and those are pretty interesting to see. So yeah, I mean, he's got a fan base, and there's so many of my generation that grew up with Static Shock that if it doesn't become as big as Black Panther, I would genuinely be shocked. And they would have to do pretty good on making that movie. And now they're making a different movie called I don't even know what it's called. It's just this like it's based on like Nigerian lore or something like that. But let's see. It would have done great with Michael Keaton. Dale A says Static Shock is shockingly wasted, pun intended. Yeah. Batman Beyond would be slick. All they got to do is goon bait with the Harley twins. Yeah, but they'll put them in jeans or something, and then they'll ruin it. I think it's more so that they're too serious all the time. They act too cool to be in a superhero world. Really? I see something different because of the way that they don't let serious moments land. Maybe that's the general way that they act. Like they act serious in general ways, but whenever it's time for a joke, it's like they go too hard into the joke. Studio Stricker says, I remember the cartoon of Static Shock. John says, Black Lightning became a show. I didn't even know who that was. Yeah, that's true. Black Lightning got a show before Static Shock. And Static Shock was in Young Justice, if I remember correctly. He was in Young Justice, had his own show, had his own comic. Like, what are we doing here? Static Shock was right there with Batman and the Justice League. Yep, exactly. Vince V said, you're right. All right, so yeah, we're just moving along on this piece. We've got the most important parts sort of put in place. Oh yeah, the whole thing was like to put a monster on this thing. So I mean, I guess I gotta deliver on that. I have an idea for the design, so I'm just gonna try that out now. All right, so let me finish putting some of this over here. Yeah, see, even just doing something simple like that kind of gives more dimension to the tiles. Makes them feel like they're actually coming out of the wall. But what I want to put back here, I'll just do it really quick. I've been drawing pages for the last, I don't know how many months, and I really can just draft up a new like creature like that. But I've had this thing in mind for a while now. So it kind of looks like that. And really that's all you need to see. So what I'm going to do, this is just, I would call it the draft layer. Why did it say later? And then I'll just put in a new layer on top. And Spooky Lolly says, maybe serious is the wrong word. I guess it's more ingenuine. They seem too aloof and disinterested in their setting. Yeah, like Yelena herself, the new Black Widow. Like she's just sort of, oh, I'm so depressed and tired of being alive, and I don't want to be a superhero. So she's kind of like that. Did anyone here see the back rooms? Yes, I saw the back rooms, and the back rooms was really good. It was like, how would I describe it? I was looking at the back rooms to see if it would have the vibe of what the back rooms is supposed to be like. Like, is it going to be this Hollywoodification of the back rooms, or is it going to be what the back rooms is actually supposed to feel like? And it was like, it gave you that feeling just enough so you're like, yes, this is about what I expected, what I wanted it to be. And it isn't trying to like do what Hollywood, like, it was made by Kane Parsons, which is like one of the guys who is responsible for, you know, like really fleshing out the concept of the back rooms. And so when you have somebody who actually cares and has an artistic vision like that behind the actual creation of the back rooms, then you can represent it accurately in theaters. I personally like the back rooms with, like, you know, very little context, where you don't really know why anything is happening or what it's there for. But he did it really well so that it was like you have some context as to why things are the way they are, but you never get the whole story about it. And he was able to create the visual vibe. He was able to lock down that visual vibe really well. The only thing that I had any real issue with was how easily the I mean, this is spoilers if y'all haven't seen it, but how easily the main girl like beat the Captain Clark. Like if I knew that's all it would take was a rock, I mean I mean anybody could beat it. You know what I mean? Like Captain Clark was strong enough to ragdoll actual Clark around the room just to like and kill him easily. But I mean, all you needed was a rock and a 110-pound lady, and beating him with the concrete she had in her pocket, and boom, like she was able to get away, and that was it. You know what I mean? But other than that, like everything was great. I really liked the chase at the end. That was one of my favorite parts because it was just like scare after scare. Well, not really even scare, but it was just like fear inducing, while there was like some elements of vertigo because she went into like this infinite room where it was just infinite down, like an infinite pit, like an abyss. And she opened up the door and then it fell. Like you had to have something that would fall into that abyss to really sell it, to really make it feel like, oh shit, this is crazy. So that was a really welcome element to it. Okay, yeah, if I make it black it out here. Yeah, the movie overall was really fun and good, and I enjoyed it. Let me see. Am I gonna risk it and do the whole thing? I probably will. Yeah, let me just do the whole thing in black. It's not really a risk because it's on its own layer, but yeah, I could just do that. Studio Stricker says comics are so much work, but so rewarding. Oh yeah, especially when you get them done. Very rewarding after they're done. But while it's going on, you're just like, why did I even choose this line of work? I hate my life. But then when you finish, you're like, okay, well, it's not so bad. I think Infamous took the remaining aura of Static Shock. Infamous 1 specifically. Man, I remember playing Infamous 1, at least the demo version of it. I don't think he took his aura, but if they had made a Static Shock game instead of Infamous, yeah, it would be Raps. Like he would be a mainstream figure by now, as big as, I don't know, maybe not as, definitely not as big as Spider-Man, but he'd be up there probably with Green Lantern. Because for me, Spider-Man's bigger than Green Lantern, but that's just me. Let's see. Spooky Lolly says, I felt like it was pretty solid psychological horror. Yeah, for real. It's that glass cannon type beat. Studio Strictures, yeah. That was the most crumbly piece of concrete too. Yeah, it wasn't even that strong that it should have been able to do that. Like she beat it with a rock. Oh, why didn't I think of that? Oh, all I had to do was beat it with a rock. Okay, cool, yeah. Like that was so, I wouldn't call it cheap, but I mean, it was just, they had to finish the story somehow and keep her alive, I guess. But it wasn't so bad. Ooh, yeah. I think this is coming together. And we want to extend these lines out. There we go. El May says 1 HP wizard. I don't know what that's in reference to. JOM says you might be able to do a skin of Static Shock in Infamous. Someone do it. Yeah, you know, right? Like if it's on like PC and then somebody does a mod, like you could get that going for sure. Let's see what time it is. Yeah. Man, one day I'll get a whole new setup and this will be looking good, because right now, like anytime I look back on my streams, the art stuff lags, so it's not fully what's the word, it's not fully there. Fingertip? No. Yeah, the art stuff lags, so you can see it, but it's not fully what's the word, man? What am I looking for? It's just laggy. Like you can never see it like just smoothly. You can't see every single pen stroke I'm doing. It just lags behind. Studio Stricker says, I will say the strategy I've been doing with my comic is write thumbnail and draw 5 pages at a time just to avoid burnout. I also have a layout for the story before I do it, but yeah, the strategy is write thumbnail and draw 5 pages at a time. Actually, that's a solid strategy. You know what I mean? Like anything that actually helps you get pages done is a good strategy. But if you find yourself too overwhelmed to even like get started, that isn't a good strategy. You know what I mean? Like as long as you're making pages, what you're doing is working, and you can adjust on the fly as long as you're still working. But anything that prevents that or stops you in your tracks is a bad strategy and should be adjusted. That's all. Let's see. Vince V said therapy wasn't the answer for money problems. Poor Clark just wanted to be an architect, man. He just wanted to work. Yep. He spent his money for nothing. It didn't work. And he said, I like it here. I like it in the back rooms too, man. Like if the back rooms didn't have all the danger and stuff, I would be there all the time because I love it, like infinitely explorable places. And there's tons of places like that in real life. There's tons of back rooms like places in real life. That's where the concept came from to begin with. Like these liminal spaces, meaning like these spaces that were kind of transitioning between having people there and like not being used for anything. And like I like exploring those places where nobody else is around. There was this what do you call it? I used to live in San Marcos where it was right next, I was right next to the college campus. And I would just walk around the college campus whenever all the students had left for either summer or winter. And at night, I would just walk around campus. Nobody was around. And I would just be walking around like there's nobody here. And I'm the only one here. And it would be like a different world at night. Like, I'm the only one here, just walking around, enjoying the scenery, and it's kind of off-putting because nobody is here. Like occasionally I would see maybe security personnel, but they would be like so far away. It would almost be like somebody is like I'm on the water on a ship and they're sailing in a different direction than I'm sailing, and it was just a weird experience. Like a really nice experience. The back rooms, I like the concept because I feel like it could be a place that you could explore forever. And these two are just like hanging out in it, you know, just hanging out in the pool rooms for no reason. Just because okay, it's got water slides, let's try them out and see what happens. But oh shit, there's danger in the back. So they're gonna probably have to deal with that at some point. So yeah, I just like the back rooms as a concept to play around with. It just hits the right spot in my head, in the right spot in my brain. That tickles like my curiosity or whatever. Let's see. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Spooky Lolly says, comic question, what inspired these characters? Was there anything specific? What inspired these characters? The story inspired the characters. Like, the story first, like the story came first, and I was just like, you know what should these characters look like? Because I know it's gonna involve two girls, but what should they look like? And I just thought of, like, I didn't come up with Vivi's final look until like I drew her on the first page of the comic. Like, I don't come up with character sheets. I drew them a few times before I drew the actual comic, but I didn't bother to come up with like turnarounds or colors. I just colored them on the comic page just to see how they would work, and they ended up looking pretty good. So I was just like, okay, yeah, I think I'll go with this. And for Chelsea specifically, I decided to give her like a really long mouth as a sort of defining characteristic, compared to other, like, redhead type characters that also have green eyes. I was like, okay, she needs something that makes her stand out or makes her unique compared to those other types of characters, because you already have Adam Eve, and somebody in my comments called her protein gene or something like that, or proton gene. And I was just like, oh man. But like, you already have characters like Adam Eve. There's a girl actually named Chelsea on That's So Raven. So I was just like, you know what, let me give her some instantly recognizable characteristic. And that was where her mouth came from. I was also looking at the art by Betancourt. He's the artist behind My Hero Academia Vigilantes, and his art style is top tier. And I don't even like his art style that much on Vigilantes, but I like everything he did before that. He did this comic called Girlfriend, and this other one called Harukaze Bitterbop, and his art style between those two comics was top tier for me. And that's kind of where I got Chelsea's look. And then for Vivi, I was just like, she's kind of what if I just gave her really long bottom lashes and black lipstick, and then kind of hollow eyes to signal that she can see like spirits and ghosts and stuff. So yeah, that's what kind of came to be her signifier of like, this is her uniqueness as a character. And that's what you kind of do when you have cartoon type characters or anime type characters. You have to give them something that's unique to make them stand out among other characters. So even if you drew her as a realistic person, you have to give her long bottom lashes, you have to give her blue eyes, and she might just be wearing black lipstick, but she's not always wearing lipstick like that. And then Chelsea, all you really need to do is give her a long mouth and make her be smiling, and there you have the character of Chelsea, like with her red hair and green eyes and stuff. And I'll, like, whenever she's really like smiling, I'll put stars in her eyes to signify that she's like a rising star in Hollywood or something like that. So yeah, when you're doing cartoons, you want to give the characters some little things to be more unique than other characters, to have them like stand out. And another big inspiration for them was this book called Freaks Squeal. It's one of my favorite comics ever. And the two main characters are like a big inspiration for Vivi and Chelsea. Like, I read this in English like a long time ago, like just on the 7 C's, you know what I mean? Like, that's how I read the comic to begin with. But I swore that as soon as I had the money, I would buy the actual comic, to have the actual thing and support the actual creator, because it was just that good of a comic. And I just now recently got it. I probably read this thing when I was like 16 or 17 and thoroughly enjoyed it. I was just like, man, these characters feel so alive. And now reading it now, it's still the same thing. Like they still immediately capture your attention. Like they immediately feel like living people, and it's just such a pleasure to read. Anytime I get back into it. So yeah, that's where they get a lot of their personality, and all that kind of stuff. So yeah. Let's see. Studio Stricker says it helps me avoid burnout because it's not writing all the time and not drawing all the time. It flip-flops a bit. That's good. That's good. Venture Lord says college campuses are some of the best places to just chill and walk for real. Yeah, 100%. And nobody really bothers you. Like, if security sees you, they just think you're a student or something, or just part of the college. And they don't really say anything. Dale A says, I went into the basement of a mall once. It was very much the back rooms. Oh, I'd love to go into the basement of a mall. Like, because the basement of a mall won't be just one little room. It'll be like a whole plethora of different like rooms that you could just walk into, walk out of, and you won't get truly lost down there. Probably not. Like, that's what I'm guessing. But the basement of a mall, like, oh, I can only imagine. That would be so awesome to try. What the hell? I'm gonna hit quit on that. I don't even know why that's showing up. Hopefully it's not getting in the way of my actual stream. Scaby says peeping Tom Demon. Yeah. Let's see. Venture Lord says, what's cool is they always have great architecture, landscape, and lighting. Yeah. Schools always have like some really cool thing about them to explore. Vince V says, yeah, it feels weird being in an empty campus when no one's there to tell you where and when to go. Yep. Black Swan, hey, what's up, man? Has anyone done reviews on YouTube of your comic book? No, not yet, because it's not publicly available yet. So it's just on my email list. But I did sign up recently for what's it called? Dan Fan's comic contest that she's running through Kickstarter. And the only reason I'm signing up for that is because you have to go through Kickstarter to get to the comic, but you can already read my comic for free through signing up to my email list. So the comic contest is really just for the money. There's a cash prize if you win, so I'm gonna just hit that up and see if I can get some cash. Vince V says Protein Gene goes hard though. It's Proton Gene. Studio Stricker says, I know a lot of my art has an anime influence, but I try to publish to something of my own. I try not to go too anime if I can help it. Yeah, same here, man. I used to do my comic called Air Rider, and while it did have a lot of anime style to it, what the hell? While it did have a lot of anime style to it, I was really trying to go for a more cartoon style and try to break away from the anime elements because I'd drawn so much anime or manga style like growing up. So yeah, there was that. Vince V says, yeah, the tiny subliminal details really make them feel special. Good call. Yeah. Dale A says, it was strange. There weren't a lot of hallways. You could open doors and go from room to room. One room had a model train set up in it. Another had a Christmas tree and boxes of decorations. Oh, that's crazy. That's exactly what you find in the back rooms, man. Like a whole Christmas tree, and it was in a red room, and there's all these like weird things around. That's crazy. Okay, I'm wondering, should I outline this thing? like give it a little bit of a. If I outline it, it would make it too. What's the word? Make it too. Obvious. Like it can kind of be what it is, and people can sort of, you can sort of use your mind to fill in the blanks. But yeah, let's see. Socrates official YouTube. My wife wants a divorce. I hope that's a joke, but if so, sorry, man. Sorry that's happening to you, man. That's not great. Rixa Raxor says, you are friend of young Weeby. We've talked in the past. We've had a, what's it called, a podcast, but I only have friends in real life. Like I don't really have friends online, to be honest, because I don't know anybody really. Like I can't know somebody online through that method. So everybody I know online is more or less like almost like coworkers, really. And some coworkers you have a better relationship with, and some you don't. But yeah, it's more like a coworker type thing. Let's see. All right. So this thing, what the hell? Why is this even here, dude? It's just covering things up and annoying. Like Adobe is the worst. I hate having to deal with their stuff, man. Like, why is that even there? Is needed to solve this problem. However, is missing or damaged. Please download and install a new copy of the Creative Cloud. What if I hit repair or quit? Can I turn this off? Or move it at the very least. Okay, cool. I can move it. Yeah, get out of my way, stupid. Yeah, stay over there, bitch. Man, that shit was just in the way, being annoying. Okay, so now we got this going. So I finally done something good with the background. I've been waiting to do this thing in the background here, try to make it work. Adobe Creative ruining creativity once again. Yeah. Yeah, that's just what they do. That's what they're good at. Okay, so we've got us a good situation going with the background there, and I need to erase one of these thingamajigs from Vivi's hair. It's one of the shines. Where the hell is that layer? Why is it not immediately available? Okay, I'm gonna call it something so I don't have to search through everything again. That's why you name your layers. But the other cheat code secret is to use the object tool and just move layers until you can touch the one that you're looking for. Okay, so I need to go back here and sort of adjust these shadows. Oh, hell no. What the hell was that? I just moved the ghost of some of my layers there. That was weird. Okay, I'm gonna go over here. Okay, yeah. And erase some of these shadows here. Where is the eraser tool? Oh, there it is. All right, let me... Actually, I like to use the flat brush and just use the transparency. I like erasing with transparency sometimes, especially when drawing foliage. That really helps. What if I blended these out a little bit? Where's the light layer? Right here. There we go. Where's the pool? Oh, there's two shadows to the pool. I wonder if I can manipulate both of them. No, I can't. I can only do one at a time. Sheesh. All right, let me... Dang, we got 22 watching. That's really nice, y'all. I appreciate you coming out to the show. I am just drawing away, man. Let's see. Man, I really would like to be able to draw these things faster and be done with them, but I also have to do the whole entire comic that the characters are based on, so I can't really just drop everything and just do illustrations all the time. But I really do want to get good at illustration as well, because I've always wanted to be able to draw like a Pixiv artist, but I think in order to do that, I have to be able to, what's the word? In order to do that, I have to be able to put in as much time and energy into that as I do into making comics themselves. And that would just be a lot of extra work. Not that I'm not willing to put it in, but it's just so much more than one might expect. Because really, to get as good as a Pixiv artist, you just have to put in a lot of time into studying how to actually draw. Like, you're studying the principles of light and shadow, how light and shadow works. You're studying people's workflows, how they actually put things together, and all kinds of stuff that really go into the process of making a really decent like illustration. Here's something I want to do with this water here. I want to go to the water layer, and I'm going to find it by pressing, okay, so that's the water layer right there. And I'm going to use the green of this water slide as the I'm going to select even the lines. Option Shift. I'm going to lasso the lines in so they don't get lost. But really, we just want these lines here. Like, I want to get as good at painting as Demizu Posuka. If you ever heard of her, she did the, I mean, I'm guessing she's a girl. She did the art for The Promised Neverland. And that art is top tier. the way she draws is so rough and loose, but the painting that she does is like so good. I don't know how to describe it really. Like it's rough, loose, but really solid and good. So I like the way that she does her work. Okay, so okay, there we go. That's the layer. How do we solve this problem? Blend it out. Let's see. That might be the solution we're looking for. And then we'll put a hard line here. Let me see. Rixara. I'm just going to call you Rix. That's your new name, Rix. Because I can't read that. He says, I click for the baddies. Yep. That's what most people do. Creative Cloud installer. I am not installing shit. Cancel. Ooh, get out of my way. All right, there we go. See, I did for 3 years. Did that for 3 years, just grinded out realism, and now drawing more graphic novel style characters. Yeah. That is a good, solid like foundation and basis for drawing graphic novel characters. Because if you base your style in like what's real first, then you can really just do you could adapt to pretty much any style that you want to afterward, because you're not just copying stuff. It's actually based on something that's real. Let's see. Vince V said, did you use the soft light blend mode for your shadows? Soft light. Nope. I always use, what do you call it? Multiply. I always use multiply. But I think in this case, what I'm going to do to like kind of finish it off is, because I have a, what's the word? Because I have a lot of layers, I'm gonna go ahead and just paint on top of it, do like a paint over, and get it done that way. And I think what I'll do with these bottom 2 layers, because they're both attached to, so we have a ink layer here, and then wait, what is this? So if I erase, if I turn off that layer, which layer was it on? Okay. At this point, I'm just clicking past layers, but I had the one I was looking for, like right in my sights. Okay, if I click past this one, if I turn it off, nothing changes. If I turn this one off, nothing changes. Turn this one off, a lot changes. But the one that I was actually looking for is nowhere to be seen. What the hell? I'm gonna have to use the option tool. Okay, I'm gonna try to finish this water effect right here. And that one should be it. Yep. And really, I'm just going off of my mind. I'm not really referencing this one that much. Let me hit shift, add this to the selection. There we go. That way I can just sort of paint into it. And I'm not the best digital painter. I just go off the vibes. I haven't really digitally painted so much since, well, I don't really illustrate that much, to be honest, like in general. So the last thing I really did was the last like digital painting proper that I did was probably in school. But the more like rules of realism that you know or adhere to in your painting, the more believable and convincing your work will look, and it'll be nice to look at. Let me go over to hatching effect. Light. No. Go over to droplet. I'm gonna put it on full white. We're just gonna have that kind of be all over the place. Yeah, nice. And then I'm gonna hit save before I lose all my progress. Let's see. Spooky Lolly says, "Hey, multiply gang. Gradient map shading is fun too, but it takes longer." Gradient map shading. Yeah, I think I remember doing that one time in school, and I was just like, never again, because it was like really complex. My wife says your art looks really good, specifically the water. Hey, appreciate it. Tell her I said thank you. Yeah, I'm trying to make this water look crispy, if that makes sense. Let me go ahead and add. There is an actual water brush. Let me go to that. It's in these. And really, drawing and painting is digitally is not about having a whole ton, like a whole buttload of brushes that you're using all the time, but it's more about having the right brush for the right situation anytime you need it, and just being able to access it quickly. Because I know of a water brush, but it's not in quick reach, and I have to kind of figure out where I put it last. So it's not there, and it's not here, so it's probably down here. Okay, so it's not down there either. Let's see. Where is it? Hard round. Sampled brush. It's got to be one of those. Blot. Dry marks. Pixel stains. Directional brush. Okay, what if I go over here to effect? Maybe if I go to natural. What if I go over here to this cloudy thing? And then give it like a add glow layer. We'll just select this green and we'll go back to that layer and just paint it in. Another thing that kind of helps with the process is to set the whole thing in black and white to see if the tones are reading well and if they're kind of clear where they need to be. See, around her arm, I wanted it to be more of a contrast, but given that there's water around it and then her leg is darker than the place around it, it works just fine. It works all right. Let's see. I'm gonna hit cancel. And I'm gonna go to whichever layer is making these details appear outside. I'm gonna hit select. Then I'm gonna go to that. Then I'm gonna hit that. There we go. Now there's no more of these weirdo lines outside of my thing, but I want to get rid of the other ones too. So I'm going to delete that too over here. And then these layer shadows, I'm going to blend them out. Blender is your friend when you and this multiply layer, I do want to, well, let me just blend this out and see where we need to go from there. There we go. Oh, it's far away, so let me. Studio Stricker says, I gotta go for now. Have a nice night. Hey, yeah, appreciate you coming out to the show, dude. I'll probably head off in about 10-20 minutes maybe. Let's see. Vince V said, I like to use soft light for skin when multiply has too much darkness, but if you've got a color theory in mind, blend modes don't matter too much. Yeah, that's kind of how like I learned color theory on paper first before I ever used digital. So I understand how the colors like interact already, so that when I do use blending modes, it's really just to support what I have in mind, rather than using any specific one. Because you can use different blending modes and still get similar results. So that's how I've always used them. Like I still get similar results to what I need or what works. So that's what I do. Okay, let me see if I can hit a soft light here. Try to touch your skin a little bit with, painting, of course. So let me deselect the shadow. Hit. Okay. Okay. So that should be just the right amount of touch there. Then this pool shadow, this one, needs to round around her waist like that. So it's not like straight up cutting through. Then this one, and I have to sort of remember that I can go all out on an image like this because it's an actual, because the image is all that matters when it's just one thing. But when I'm doing like comics, you have to pick and choose which ones you want to go all out on. Like, and I just heard a really good, what do you call it? Tip from this manga girl that's been blowing up on social media for a while now. Her name is like Kana Yamasaki, and the tip was in one of her shorts where it said, for manga they have a rule, or they have like sort of a tip where if you want to focus on 120% of your effort on one panel, and for the rest, like for each page, 120% of your effort on one panel, and then every other page is, or every other panel is 30%. So you're not putting in 70% for each panel. You're just putting in, oh shit, yeah, that's the one I was looking for. Nice. You're putting in 120%, so that on one panel, so that nobody notices or cares how the other panels look like not that good, because that one panel is just so top tier that you're just like, yep, that's all me. You know what I mean? So yeah, if you can go all out for one panel, you're not even going all out, you're going over all out. So it's like 120% for one panel. And I was just like, oh, this is the tip. This is just the tip that I need to get to the next level, and do these next chapters with full effort without really like sacrificing quality. Because these first 3 chapters, I was really trying to prove that I can do high level stuff, like I can do quality, but at some point you just need to buckle down and really put in, like, really pick and choose where you put in the maximum effort, because you're not going to be able to do that for every single page. Is this really the one I was looking for, or maybe it was something else? Oh, hell no. Is this one under shadow? I'm going to lock that layer so I can't move it anymore. I'm going to lock this layer so I can't move it anymore. I'm going to lock this one as well. And then maybe I'll find the culprit. Nope. I hit save. Let's see. Let's see. The artist graces her skin with a paintbrush as if she was a fictional character, and she stares back with confusion. What the? Venturelord says, interesting. So like an 80-20 rule for panels. Heard. We'll test that out. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's really something good to try out. Let's see. Vince V says, I got to ask, how do you know what size and shape each panel should be? Is there a system, or is it about eyeing it out? I did do a video about that on the channel. How I set up pages. I set them up by 2 pages. So I draw them as you're going to read them. So you read comic books in spreads. So every 2 pages you're reading, every 2 pages. And so when the 2 pages, when you look at the 2 pages side by side, that's how you want to draw them, because that's how people are going to be reading them. And so whichever panel is the most important, you want to make that the biggest between the 2 pages. And if you think you're drawing your panel big enough, make it even bigger. You know what I mean? You want to make that panel so big that it takes up all the attention on that page and on the spread. If that's the important panel, you want to make it bigger, and then all the other unimportant panels are more or less to support that big panel. And through the 2-page spread, you want to make it so that the first panel is drawing your attention back into the story, and then the last panel leaves on a cliffhanger that makes you want to flip the page to the next. So you always want to be like mindful of the page turn. But I use basic composition principles on each spread of pages to figure out what is important and how to arrange the elements so that they're easy to tell the story with. Let's see. Okay, so I had these pool lines, and really I can just delete that layer. So I'm gonna undo that and then just delete it. And Yeah, nobody's gonna be really able to see that, and I really want it to be seen somehow. I found a texture that really mimics what wet skin looks like, and I think it's this grit texture, or maybe the pores texture. But let me move the layer to figure it out. Okay. No, it wasn't pores. It was probably grit. Which is weird and ironic. Oh, hell no. Let me see. Ow. Skin transition. No, that's more for like dry skin that's realistic. We're looking for that one we had before. What if I hit and add glow? When in doubt, glow it out. That's weird. So if I turn off that, it erases everything above. So we want to keep that layer. But if I turn this off, it erases basically everything below. So I want to keep that layer. Then if I turn this back on, so I'm pretty sure this is a copy of that other layer. Yes, it is. And I kept this one so that I wouldn't have to get rid of the other. So I copied it so it would be there for me to play and experiment around with. So I'm going to lock this layer, keep it closed, and play around on this one. Nice. Let's see. Nick Stream says that's how Dandanon art is. The guy spams chibi heads wherever he can just to do the most detailed kaiju on the next page. Oh yeah. Yep. Yeah, he's really good at paneling, really good at art. He's top tier. And I think that's why he gets away with like maybe not the strongest level of story, because he can just draw the hell out of everything. So he can do what he wants basically. But yeah. Vince V says, yeah, the direction of reading, I saw that one. Attention priority. Oh man, that makes sense. Yep. I'm gonna try to go through these books about like making manga, because they teach all about that stuff in these books. This one especially is about paneling basics, and I already know a lot of the stuff even without like having to read the book. But I think it would be nice like teaching it through the channel somewhat and allowing me to learn some of the secrets that they have inside the book itself, as I show other people like what I'm learning. Because I can kind of read it, but I'm really trying to learn Japanese. Like I'm really trying to actually learn the language. Because in a couple of years, like when I'm done with Saintly, like this big volume of Saintly, I'm gonna be visiting a friend that I have in Japan, and he works as an assistant right now. So I'm gonna go visit him, and if he's serialized by then, I'll be helping him out on his work, And if he's not, if he's still working as an assistant, I'll be able to sit with an actual Japanese mangaka and like learn his secrets. Like, hey, how do you, like, when you're at like an intermediate level, like I feel like I am right now, it becomes less about learning the basics, less about less about like how to draw and how to write, and more about like secondary things or like ancillary things, where it's like, okay, how do I maintain stamina throughout a longer serialization? How do I create stories that really resonate with people? Or how do I, you start thinking about all these other things, all these other elements that don't get talked about as much because they're almost like intuitive knowledge. So that's what I would be asking the sensei about, and I'd be asking my friend, like, what did you learn just by studying under this guy, or what did you learn just by working under these creators? So yeah, that's what I try to figure out. Okay, so I think as basically a final effect for this video, I'm gonna do the liquefy tool and just get this part going. I want to use reference for it though, so I'm gonna go to VizRef. Where is it at? VizRef, there we go. And I'm gonna say what's up to Joseph Lopez. How you doing, man? Appreciate you coming out. We're almost done with the illustration, but we're almost done with the stream as well. But let me see. I see my name is Grog. Hey, what's up? Appreciate you coming out to the show. Okay, so we got the screen working, and I'm gonna put this slide over, and I'm gonna go over back to Clip Studio. And really, when the tiles are underwater like that, what the heck? I guess they can look any old way. Ugh. I never noticed the tiles in the back of this one. That one's kind of gross. Yeah, the tiles are really just arranged anyhow. Except here, they look completely straight, which is odd. I didn't expect that, to see that in that reference. So where is it the most distorted? It's when you're looking at the top of the water into the water. Then it will look really distorted. So I would probably I would do it here on the surface of the water like that. Oh, you guys can't see. Let me share my screen again. Vince V says, Samurai in progress. Sounds fun. I want to go to Japan too. Oh, yeah. Yep. I just want to see how they actually do what they do. You know what I mean? Let me share screen. Okay. And we'll get off in like a few minutes here, and then that'll be it. I just need to share the screen so you guys can see the last little bit of work I'm going to do. Because we're basically almost done with this. Like, we got the monster in the back. I'm going to have to detail it just a little bit more so it's not as graphic looking, where it looks like more of a, like, I would just have to put some shadows on it to like pop it out a little bit more. Vince V says the show Durarara made me want to go to Japan. Oh, really? Man, I haven't seen Durarara since like Toonami, back when I first saw it. Yeah, Durarara didn't have any specific effects of making me want to go to Japan, but it was a really fun show at the beginning. At least that's what I thought. Well, if I distort that, but I don't distort their legs, then it won't really feel right, I think. So I can distort the surface of the water because that's where the most distortion would be, where you'd find the most distortions. But apparently, if the water is calm, like there won't be that much distortion underneath. So if I turn off that layer, kind of looks darker than intended. That's not bad. Maybe I can lower it a little bit. No, not that one. Okay, where is the layer I was playing with? It's probably this one. Yeah. Yeah, so apparently it's actually not distorted underneath. But if you have running water over the top, maybe it will become somewhat distorted. Like at least near the top. I don't want it to distort her ass though. That's not good. We'll leave it be. Okay, there we go. We'll just distort the top a little bit. And that should be good. We'll leave the bottom basically untouched. And hit save. And then we should be good. Yeah, we're just about done with this thing. What I usually like to do towards the end, I'm gonna do a little bit more effects on the water. What I usually like to do, I still have to do a few more like tile stuff, but I usually like to put an overlay layer over the whole thing. Oh, my bad, y'all. Y'all couldn't see what I was doing. That's how you know I'm tired. Here we go. So we'll adding spectacular on the pool tube thingy. Adding specular on the pool tube thing. Specular light. I don't even remember what that term means. But I mean, like, is it more like a shine or something like that? Or maybe like the water reflection light. I don't even know. But yeah, I should add some of that water reflection light on this thing here, and then maybe it would reach up to this point too before it goes into the darkness. But that'll be something I do just on my own time, and then I'll probably be done with this illustration by next stream. Like I'll probably be done before next stream and have a new one started, and I'll just show you all the finished results. But yeah, my name is, what was his name? My name is Grog. He says, never heard of StreamYard used to used to people using OBS. I might have to switch to it because this was giving me a lot of problems and stuff. Oh, Vince V said I'm in gloss. Oh, okay. Also, you sharing your YouTube studio. Oh, yeah. I realized that too late. So now we're back to the actual like illustration, and I'm nearly done. Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to say. I usually do like some type of overlay layer over the top of everything. We can close this. I'll fill it with one type of color. Like usually I like to do a warm to cool overlay, something like I'll make the color come from that end, and then I'll make a different color come from the opposite end, and sort of have them meet in the middle. And then I'll hit overlay, and that'll kind of make this you know, look kind of neat. I mean, it's not, I don't want it to be that strong in this way, but the way it looks, like it's just a way to play around with the colors. And what I do is I'll take what I got there, and then I'll start playing with the light setup. And I kind of like this just off the face of it. So I'm going to choose that and then hit the see how strong I want that effect to be. And I'm wondering, like, do I even want to keep it like that? Or did I like what I had before? Like one side cool, one side warm. Another thing I'll do is I'll go to the correction layers and set up a correction layer. Hit I'll go to color balance, and that'll be one of those things that I'm like, okay, so let's see what color works best for this picture. It's going towards a red direction, but this one's going towards a more magenta. I'll take it towards blue. I'm like, maybe not blue, maybe not yellow. I don't like yellow. Let's see. And I'll just sort of play with the effects to see, like, what can we do to really accentuate the vibe that we got going here? Because it's supposed to be kind of summery, but also kind of like, you know, there's danger lurking in the background there. So I'll kind of go with that. Then I'll hit another correction layer, and usually I'll go for tone curve, and that'll like help either lighten things up, darken things. I kind of like the dark look, and you're just sort of fiddling with things until you figure out something that works for you. And really, I wanted more, that's what I wanted to put more of, some foreground elements to give some more dimension to the picture. So one thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to put some big water droplets in the foreground and hit the and once you're at close to the end of a drawing, like you just kind of can go crazy with it and start doing stuff. What's up, Canvas Engineer? How you doing, man? Appreciate you coming out to the show. We're basically about to end. I'm just sort of like putting in some last minute things before I end the show. But let me see. Okay. And I put these effects over everything. So this one's like sea spatter. I would do some like light, very light blue effects over the whole thing. And I wouldn't do it quite the way that it's having me do it here. So I would keep playing around with different effect brushes to see which one works best for what I need. So I got the toothbrush. Let's see if I can make it big enough to... I kind of like that being there. Makes it look more watery. Like there's a bigger splash going on. So that's nice. But I want some water droplets in the foreground. Like if I draw them, might even be better. Like just stuff like that, you know what I mean? And I put that on a separate layer. Like I want there to be foreground elements, and there's no other thing in the foreground to really be a foreground element. So I'm just sort of extending the splash that's going on over there to over here, just to give it some more dimensionality, but it's not quite working. It's something I'll probably figure out off stream. But yeah, I kind of like what I got going with the color balancing that I was doing earlier. I'm gonna see what happens when I turn that off. Like, see, it just doesn't, it lacks a certain punch when I turn that layer off, but when I put it back on, it's like, oh yeah, there's something to it. No, something about it that makes it just a little bit more cool looking. So yeah, we're just about done. I just need to add more of these sort of spectral lights, like these what's the word? The light that comes from the waves of the water. I need to add that, like maybe on the wall here, a little bit underneath here on Vivi, and that'll kind of bring everything together, like under that pool lighting. And I think playing with the, like if we turn off some of these layers, it's like it doesn't quite hit as much without the layer on. It's a little bit more blue without that layer on. So yeah, I kind of like the way it's looking right now. So I'm gonna hit save, and then what? You guys can see what I was doing, so that's good. And that's pretty much it. I'm gonna read the last comments. Let me see. Canvas Engineer says, dang, I'm always late. Don't worry about it. Vince V says, oh, I see the characters are outside. Cold and warm makes sense. They're not outside, they're in the pool room, but I kind of want to use those colors to give the sense of like a summertime vibe, even though there's like danger lurking in the back. So it's really just like what looks good to your eye when you look at the picture. Like, does that look good to me? Yeah, we'll just do that. I'm not trying to be like exact or perfect. I'm just like what feels best for the picture and to my eye. So let me see. Ira T Irate 88 says your art's pretty good, man. Hey, appreciate it, dude. I am nearly done with this picture, so we're getting there. And then Canvas Engineer says caustic lights. Okay, nice, awesome. Well, yeah, that's pretty much it. We made some really good progress on this. We finally put in a little monster thing in the back, and hinted at some danger. Got this water looking really watery. Got the colors balancing out really nice. So we are basically near the end. I'm going to put in more of these background lights to make the tiles stand out. I'm going to put in more of this light from the water to really bring it all together, because it's going to be basically touching everything. It's going to touch this wall here. It's going to touch this up there, and yeah, it'll fully like bring that piece together. And I'm going to find some type of foreground element to really give it some more depth and make the characters pop out a little bit more. So yeah, thanks for joining me again as usual, and I'll see you next week. I got more videos coming up later for tomorrow, Sunday, and Saturday, and then yeah, we should be good. But appreciate you for coming out, and I'll see you next time. Peace.